buried over there.
Hey, so.
So if you stop breathing, you're not going to open your
We can have a memorial.
No, I said. If you stop breathing, then you're not going to
Oh, no resuscitation.
No?
No, absolutely not. Vegetables? No.
Well, sometimes they have ventilators in the world. So you must have no ventilators.
We said no measures, no.
You're gonna die anyway.
No, what is it different? Let's say you get pushed into 2 months, they're up.
Okay, yeah.
Our neighbor,
Yeah,
they do something with a ventilator, and we do something.
right, but
Do you want that?
they
That's
didn't
wrong.
tell them that there's no hope.
Why that's wrong?
Like when there's no hope for somebody, it's like you want to do. You don't want to go to extreme measures.
Okay, but
if you're,
that's still-
that's what.
that's what it
That's
says.
what it says. Yeah.
Okay, but they have to spell that out.
Are you saying that you're not going to have any extra?
Remember when we were going down in the elevator?
Yeah.
Episode?
Yeah.
Were we coming here that
Yes,
time?
I think we were.
Say
Yeah.
You're dying.
Prolong.
Yeah. Why do that?
You don't want to prolong.
Well, if you're only suffering, why do that?
I'm saying there could be things you could get over, right?
Oh, get over. I mean, if that's
Yeah,
an
but if you need a
illness, but if-
ventilator.
That's true. Stan, could you put the flowers in the other hand so I can get a better shot?
Have them let Charlie be the one to say if you're saving the world.
Exactly. That's what we'll put. We'll better call the attorney. Oh, we're having it done.
Oh.
We already met with the attorney, but Harry can.
But you gotta, you have to define exactly what it is.
It's very important to do that. Because you definitely do not want to pay a lot of money, right, Stan?
Absolutely.
But then again, Stan
Do you
does.
want to be scattered everywhere too?
Scattered.
Or do you want to be buried in
Buried.
Oh my gosh.
Really? You want to be buried here? Yeah. Okay.
Do we put you next to your mom and dad and put another bury him in with them?
Nice.
Oh, there's a space there.
Well, Stan, when you're dead, I mean, what do you care?
That's true.
I mean, look, when you die,
I mean, it's a little bit too raw for me.
to what?
Rah.
What do you mean, rah rah?
Let's go get a burial. Hooray.
Well, Stan, look. When you're dead, you're dead. No one, you won't care. No matter what we do.
Well, no matter what anyone does, it doesn't
That's right.
matter.
I mean, we could kick you around the whole cemetery. You wouldn't care, right?
Well, I hope you don't do that.
But we could. Would
I
you?
hope you find something
Look,
better to do.
there's one of the residents here. Look. Do you see?
Yeah, it's either Aaron or
What do you think about that? Look at that.
You know,
The
Stan.
worms.
You know, the Hindus.
Wait a second, we're gonna-
Hindus believe that that's a reincarnated person.
Right. So does carnation ice cream.
Yeah, but I mean, you could someday become a worm.
Well, I hope not. I hope that if I go to a higher place, I'll become a more intelligent life form.
How do you know they're not intelligent?
I don't know.
Worms might be intelligent. But you know, the thing is, look, Stan. I don't know what your thoughts are on dying.
Well, you know,
What are you waving?
I'm trying to get a bug out of my face.
Oh. But you know, when you Stan, when you die, right? And then you're in the ground.
Right.
Who's really gonna know?
Only people who know you.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. Only people who know you will know you. The other people won't.
Well, you know, there's a book that says that death is a part of life.
Yes.
So if that's what it is, then that's what it is. I mean,
It is.
It's unavoidable.
So what does it matter if you're buried in the ground or burned?
You know, everyone has a little child in them, and I think the child in me is saying I'd rather have a burial than a cremation.
But what does the adult say?
Same thing.
Really? So the child says be buried. The adult says be buried. And what does the dead stand say?
Well, I have no say so.
Right. So we can burn you.
Well, I hope you don't. I hope that you honor my request.
Yeah, I think you'd be okay with that. And we just scatter your ashes all over Blackburn. How's that?
That's kind of, I don't know. That just kind of bothers me.
Why?
I don't know. It's just not a good thing.
You're gonna disintegrate anyway.
I don't know.
I mean, everything about you will just fall apart and
Well, let me
disintegrate.
ask you this: what are your plans? If you have any?
Burn.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be buried?
Nah. I'll have a memorial afterward.
A cremation?
Yeah, and then you can have a memorial and just talk about me afterward. I don't want to have to go through all the expense and all that stuff for a dead person. You know?
Okay.
It's so expensive to
So
get buried, and
cremation's
cremation's cheap.
Cremation cheaper?
Yeah, much cheaper. And then, you know, you can have a memorial afterward. You can, you know, for instance, you know, if we had a memorial about you, then afterward, you know, we could have people, you know, get up, the 2 or 3 people who would come and get up and talk about you.
Right.
And so what would they say? Huh?
I don't want to go there in my mind. I just rather try to think a little bit more positively and
What do you mean? Everyone dies.
live life one day
I know.
at a time.
But I mean, if people are going to talk about you when you're dead,
Well, one thing's for sure is it won't matter, will it?
yeah, it will. It will matter to the people.
I think that.
So what will people say about you?
I think that for people who really are immortal,
Yeah.
like a Lincoln or a
Yeah.
Roosevelt or
Uh-huh.
somebody like that, I think it matters more about those people than, let's say, me. I mean,
Why?
I don't know. I think, you know, some people live their whole life with a purpose, a sense of purpose.
Yeah. And do you?
I try to, but it
Uh-huh.
doesn't always work out.
What would the purpose be?
Kind of to lead a little bit if I could. I know on B'nai B'rith I like to lead a lot.
Yeah.
I
That
think
was
if I-
1976, right?
But you know what? If I had more opportunities like that, and I didn't, but I'm glad that I had those opportunities because it enabled me to see what it's like to really
Okay.
organize and be
All right.
part of things and help people.
You know what? That's great. That's an epitaph.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll write on your gravestone.
Well, I hope so.
And we'll also give you, during your memorial, the speech, the 2 or 3 people who are there will be saying things like that.
Yeah, well,
They'll be saying, Stan had a good year in 1976.
well, I
And
hope
during that year,
Well, I'm not saying that. You know, I've done things. I've planted trees in Israel for mom and dad.
have you seen those trees?
They don't put the names on them. But I
I
have
know.
certificates for them.
Do you?
And also, it's a donation to Israel. It's a good cause.
Let him do this part.
And
You're both going to put some flowers in
I
it.
give
Percolate
gifts to
that.
the kids for
Yeah.
Can you hold
for
this?
Hanukkah and their birthdays.
What-
And I care about the kids a lot.
Yeah.
So,
But what would you like your tombstone to say?
just good person, nice friend.
Beloved brother,
Yeah.
beloved brother, friend, and what?
Companion.
Beloved brother,
Friend and companion.
friend and companion.
I've been a companion to many people in my
Who?
life. Well, too many to name, but I can say that the only thing that I would have wanted with all that companionship is maybe a relation to form. But I've had a lot of companionship throughout my life.
Uh-huh.
And
Okay.
I'd rather be remembered as a companion.
Well, let me ask you something. Afterward, what would you like served?
Dad, can I run back?
Whatever the people want.
I mean, after, and we're talking about you, and we're saying, you know, Stan was such a good guy, and you know, we're glad that he's now in the ground. And so, what food do you think we should serve?
What do you like?
Traditionally, they have corned beef and lox and bagel, and
Oh, that's what you serve them.
yeah. Is that what you would like,
Yeah.
or should we say have something different?
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And where should we hold it? Should we hold
in
it?
my apartment.
Your cleaned out apartment?
Hold it in my apartment.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to clean it out first,
Now
though.
you can look at it a little bit,
Huh?
see what was there.
No. No, the day you're gone, we're cleaning it all
You
out.
gotta look at it a little bit,
Huh?
just see what it was like. And
We know what it was like.
What I was into.
We got to take everything out of the closets and take the couch and the
drawers.
and the drawers. We got to look through your drawers and then clean it out, and then we'll have the party afterward to celebrate the death.
Well, what can you do?
And what would you want? What else? Do you want Coke?
We all have to go sometime.
Potato chips.
Potato chips?
It's not up to me.
Do you like? How about Fritos? Do you like those? The big
Whatever
ones?
you want, whatever you want to put on the table is fine.
Well, what would your menu be?
Lox and bagel.
Similar to that.
Yeah?
I want what other people want.
You want you like Harry's chili that he makes?
You want to
Yeah, I'd like to make
chili?
that when you're
Sure.
dead. That would,
Sure.
that,
Sure.
that would be good.
And on the gravestone, you can say he was full of beans.
Right.
Say,
He was a great human being.
yeah.
How's that? Would you like me to say that? So what would you like written on your gravestone?
We already went through
Oh, we
this.
did say it again.
Oh, come on, Harry.
What did you say?
Hey, we said,
I missed it.
he said brother, friend, and companion. And I asked him, who is this companion to?
Oh, I know I had many companions in my life.
You did? And who were they?
Too many to
Will they
list.
show up?
Name one.
I don't know if they'll show up or not, but
You have to give us a list.
no,
The invitation list.
no,
Give us a list, Stan.
I
Be sure to
think-
put the addresses on
I
there.
think memory is good enough for me, really.
Memory.
I hope I'm remembered in some way, but if not, it's okay too.
Well, how would you like to be remembered?
Just as a good guy.
As a good guy? Really? So people will say, as they're munching on their corned beef sandwich after you're dead, we thought this guy was a good guy,
Yeah,
right?
Be it, huh?
And that would be it?
that's fine.
No?
That's more than enough for me.
Really?
Yeah.
And then once they say that, can they get on with other conversation like
Well, of course, life goes on.
you know, what's the new car you just bought recently?
Toyota.
No, not you, them. Because you won't say anything, you're dead.
Well, what's the difference?
Huh?
What's the difference?
No, I'm saying, can they get on with conversation, or should the whole conversation be about Stan's dead?
Talk whatever you like to talk about is fine.
Really?
So has Stan said his traditional, year-end summary
No.
to mom
No.
and dad?
No.
Come over here. Come over and stand in front of. Hold this. Yeah, sure, of course. Tell me now, the beautiful flowers that you brought, they're excellent. I think they appreciate it. And what would you say to mom and dad at this time?
Well, I'd say that I think that they would be happy, that you should be happy that you have two outstanding brothers who are nice to their younger brother. Charlie lets me work for him, and Harry buys me incredible gifts for my birthday.
That wasn't just for me, by the way.
That was for everyone.
That was from everyone.
That
but,
was your idea.
But I think it was a very nice compliment to me, though. You want to rephrase it?
Well, no, I'm not.
So this has been a good year for you, huh?
It's been a pretty good year overall.
You got a new
New
TV,
TV, new car, and
shoes.
shoes I could actually buy up here, actually.
Yeah. How about, we talk about the positives, and every year we also talk about the negatives. Any negatives?
Well, I'd always wanted in my life to live a little bit more independently.
Yeah.
But I think I was sort of in a dream world about that because most places where I've lived, I've run into the same elements.
Which are?
Noise and dislike sometimes, and you run it.
Dislike?
Well, you can sort of sense when there's a dislike or there's a.
I think you're forgetting about one very, very important event that happened this year.
Which is what?
You were banned from Disney Studios.
Oh, banned from Disney Studios. Yeah. Well, that's a negative.
Yeah.
That's a negative.
What happened there?
I think I just got too loose with my words and said some things probably that I shouldn't have said.
In a letter?
In a letter.
What particular words do you think they were?
Well, I said, I'm being tagged so heavily that maybe I should be sent a check to compensate for my being tagged.
What does tagged mean?
Tag means, somebody doing a satire on you, using images that resemble or are like you,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so
or members of your family.
Did you request a certain amount of money?
No. And I also signed it respectfully because I didn't want them to get the impression.
And when was the last letter you sent?
Last year probably.
Really? And how many letters have you sent?
Maybe 5 or 6.
Oh, okay. So why do you think they waited for a full year to ban you?
I don't know. I don't know what happened, and they wouldn't tell me. I think the frustrating thing about all this is
Talk to mom and dad.
frustrating thing about all this is that they don't want to tell me what the reasons are, and I really feel bad about that. But life has to go on, and things happen to us in life, and we have to go on with our lives as best we can.
That's
what
true.
else can we do?
And when was the last time you were actually there before you got this ban?
Maybe 6 months ago.
Oh, you did something.
Mom, Dad, Stan did something to be banned
Not everyone
from
is
Disneyland.
I think we should just
lot.
take a moment of pause here because it's very unusual and not everyone can be banned.
Yeah, it's a
from
very
Disney
unusual
Studios.
thing.
It's an honor. It's a great honor. I think it's been bestowed upon you. I think it's the people who are banned are like people who win the lotto or lottery.
Yeah.
So I think
it was like winning the lottery but losing money.
I think you're.
That's sort of what it's like. It's like you win the lottery, give me money. That's what it is.
You are in rarefied company.
Rarefied.
I mean, 1 and maybe 10 million, 20 million are banned.
Right.
I wouldn't. It'd be hard to.
Yeah,
hard to estimate.
I really worked at it. I gotta tell you.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
You get it. So what else, Stan? You haven't been in any Radio Shacks recently, have you?
Radio Shack?
Uh-huh. You remember that episode years ago.
No.
Mom and Dad so asked me about that.
What can you say, Harry? What can you say?
I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, I just think that I hope that Charlie's kids remember the things that you've discussed about Mom and Dad, or about you, and about Mother and Father here.
Yeah, what are their names?
Aaron and Toby.
Do you mean to speak to them in that informal manner? You say
I've always
he
been
and she and you to them?
I've always been like that.
You know what Mom would say about that? You're calling me
she.
You say, she?
See?
And then what would Dad say?
I don't know.
He wouldn't say anything.
They were always
He'd give me a khmal.
I think they'd be upset about whatever any of us did. I think upset them. I think they were, as my therapist says, a very sensitive group of parents.
Yeah.
And nothing we can do about that. They were very sensitive people.
That's true.
Is
And-
that sweat? Beads of sweat on his forehead?
Looks like.
Let's see. It's
was that accurate?
no, there's beads of sweat there.
Looks like something's there. So, Stan, tell us about your death while we're here. It's very.
My
I mean,
death?
it's appropriate because we're at the cemetery where you'll be buried,
Well, I'll tell you, if I had
and we'll be looking for your stone,
if I had it my way, I would die like Steve Allen.
which is,
Well, he went to sleep on the couch.
yeah,
never got up, and he died. And
Really? So that's what you want to do?
if I had it my way, that's how I'd want to die.
Okay.
Stan,
So,
would you be surprised if I told you that there was something very kind of obscene on this cemetery?
What would you say that is?
Come here. I want to show you something. Come here.
Look, the chair has a spot.
Let's bring it in the camera. Move aside, show her. So, move Stan. Come closer. And Stan, what is that?
It looks like, well, it looks like
Be honest.
2 walnuts.
Really?
Looks like a pie.
take the wall out, Stan.
So, what do you think about having that on the cemetery? I mean, couldn't they do something to eliminate that?
Well, you know, you're a perfectionist, Charlie, so...
No, but I mean, you know,
A perfectionist would want everything to be
Well, Stan,
perfect.
is that appropriate to have a nut sack on the tree? Is it?
Well, it depends how you look at it. I mean, some
No,
people would
any
just-
way you look at it.
Some people would just see it as part of the tree and have nothing to do with
Yeah.
balls.
And what do you think about it?
I don't think it has anything to do with balls.
No?
No.
No symbolism?
No, but I think that maybe for somebody more, a little bit perverse, they might see balls there.
Okay.
well, what about Disney? I mean, what would they see here?
I don't know.
Jews.
I
right?
don't know about Disney. I really don't. I don't know what to say.
Where's Disney buried?
Where is he buried? Some people say he's buried. Some people say he's frozen. I don't know which one to believe.
Well, who's buried over there, Stan?
Jolson?
Yeah, and who else?
Jolson? Who else is here? I don't know. Who else?
Warner Brothers.
Oh, the Warner Brothers is buried here?
Yeah, Mark Taper. So anyway, I'm glad we have this beautiful shot of you. It's sort of a neat, the half sunlight, half, like we usually do.
Weird.
That's not weird. It's just
It's
it's
artistic.
artistic looking, and I'm glad we did this because, you know, we're all, you know, as we do this every year, it becomes a tradition. We start running out of topics to talk about.
That's
But every year you supply us with more topics to talk about, and this year's no different.
Well, there was one kind of interesting thing. Your auto accident.
That's true.
It was a negative that led to a positive for you.
Right.
Discuss that with mom and
Well,
dad. Look in their direction.
the only thing
I
I
can
can
say mom and dad.
Mom and Dad, the only thing I can say was that I was under the impression that I wouldn't get in any auto accidents, so I got in one. But at least the timing was in such a way that I was going to get a Toyota, hopefully, for me with Charlie's help, of course. And so it worked out that way. But at first it was impacting and terrifying, and we didn't get the right information from the car.
Okay.
So,
No, they don't like
And what did it teach you?
because snakes.
well, one is that you have to
Snakes are dead.
take a picture of the auto
Mm-hmm.
and write down the numbers yourself. Don't let somebody write them down for you.
Number
So
two.
you just lost my water bottle?
Number two.
I said number 2. You hear me?
Oh, say number three then.
Well, what about the garage door episode?
Well, wait a minute.
That was a good
We're
one.
still on number three.
Are we? Okay.
Okay, let's stump these.
Stand
He's
stumped.
stumped.
Oh,
Number three.
I don't know what else to say, really.
Well, think about number 3.
Okay, well, let's
Oh,
go
you
back
know
to the
what,
garage
Stan?
door.
Stan, you're good at number 2,
Yeah.
aren't you?
Well, I think we all are, but we don't want to
Okay,
admit
so
it.
the garage door is a good one.
Garage door's a good one. Tell mom and dad what you did.
With the garage door?
Uh-huh.
Oh, we got a new garage door.
But
Right.
but what happened?
Nothing happened.
Huh?
What do you mean what happened?
You paid them. What? Remember?
I don't remember.
You
What
paid
happened?
them before the job was even done.
Oh, yeah. Never give somebody a check ahead of time. Always
Right.
pay them after they're done.
That's right. Now, who told you that?
You did.
Thank you.
So
Harry did.
that's number one on that list. On that list, what's number two?
Concerning what?
The garage door or purchasing.
The garage door?
Or purchasing items
The garage door.
or services. Okay, so
Well,
number
we
one.
all learn. We all learn something.
No, but number one. Number one was not paying in advance. Number two is,
What?
I don't know. It's your learning experience.
Well, I think you just learn from things. I think the real bottom line of that is to not think that in life that you've discovered everything about life, because there's always something that happens that you have to learn from.
That's true.
And so as you go along life, you learn from different errors, and
Yeah.
you have to kind of figure things out.
Well, what if you have a learning
And
disability?
when
though?
we're kids, we think that it's panoramic and that things work in a certain way, and people say things. That
Panoramic. What do you mean?
it's a landscape.
In color?
It's
Living color?
Yeah,
Is
it's
it
like,
color? How many pixels?
It's like Mickey's Clubhouse.
Dolby?
Dolby?
Right.
Sound?
So, and really, you learn throughout your life. You don't just stop becoming an adult and then stop learning.
Really?
That you learn all your
Is that
life.
true for all people?
Not for all. Not for all. Some people do
Just stop learning, right?
stop learning, or they don't remember how their childhood was
Right.
like, and they can't relate to that.
Right.
So I think that the better approach is to say, look, I can learn something every day,
Mm-hmm.
and there's always something to learn, no matter how old you are.
Now, what did you tell mom and dad or your older brother about your check account? What happened to it?
Well, my checking account got sniped.
Did you know this?
No.
Yeah, I had
Curious, he didn't
several
mention that to you.
several deductions from my account that weren't authorized by me. So
How did that happen?
darn if I know.
Did
They were all mostly gas station prices, ranging between $85 to $125.
So, what would your advice be, having been through that?
Oh, it's good to discuss these things. It's good to mention them if you don't know how to
Yeah.
respond. I went down to the bank.
Tell the
and-
folks at home the steps. Number one.
Well, you call up the banker
Mhm.
on the
Okay.
back of your Chase card with a number on it,
Okay, then number two.
and you talk with them and you tell them that you didn't authorize these charges.
Uh-huh.
Number three.
Then they take care of it on their end. They tell you within a certain amount of hours they'll take care of it.
Number four.
And number four is to go down to the bank if you can and get a new debit charge card right away.
And number five.
And you go home.
What was number three?
I don't remember.
Number 3, Stan. That was the most important
What
one.
was it?
Hell if I know. You're the one with the numbers. But
I was never.
But let me ask you
mathematical
something,
person.
Stan. You're giving some good advice.
Yeah.
We have a reader here from Ontario who's asking a question.
Yeah.
And the question is, how do you avoid credit card fraud and checking account fraud like you've been through, Stan?
Number one.
I don't think you really, I don't think you can avoid things. I think you have to deal with things. And it's something that you have to manage and deal with. You have to live through these things. That's how I live.
And the second part of that question is, I have gained 15 pounds since this summer. What's a good way to get that weight off and keep it off?
Well, avoid red meats.
Mhm.
Avoid red meats. Poultry and fish.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of salads.
Okay.
Stay away from pasta.
Okay.
Stay away from ravioli. Stay away
Okay.
from all that starchy rice.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be in good shape.
Okay. All right.
You think that would help mom and dad?
I don't know. I don't know what their strategy was. Just
What is it now?
cooked beef. Was that what it was? Stewed
Yeah.
beef.
But what is their strategy now?
Well, I think they were semi-spiritual.
Not they. What is it
Mom
now?
and dad. Their spirit. Their spirit.
Yeah. And what do they eat?
Honey cake, I thought you said.
What do they say? In some religions, when you die and you go to heaven, they say you have certain experiences.
Yeah.
Now, I don't recall. I think I remember reading something about a Judaic experience that once you die and get to heaven, that there's like a golden gate or something. But I don't even know if it's true or not. But there's some kind of
There's a gate there.
some kind of experience that you go through once you die and go to heaven, according to Judaism.
Really?
But it's never been clear on what that was.
Well, it is clear. Isn't it?
Well, what happens?
Well, you go up and they look at the book right?
Yeah.
And then they it's indexed, so they look, for people who have been good, people who have not been so good, and people who have lived in the bubble. And when they open that tab and they look at your background and they say, yes, Stan is in this category, then you float over to the right hand of God, and God says, Stan, I'm going to burst your bubble now.
Right. Well, did Harry, did I ever tell you, Harry, that some of the things you say on Tales of Stan are semi-mean?
This is a show.
Stan, this is a show. This isn't any reverential type of thing.
Means-
Do you think this whole thing has anything to do with Mom and Dad paying respect to them? It's a show.
Mean-spirited?
No, it's not mean-spirited.
This is not the real Harry.
Not the real Harry. This is the
Well,
director Harry.
No, I think that...
And this is the producer Charlie.
Harry was the one who said that I made a lot of assumptions about him. But I'd like to say that I think you make a lot of assumptions about me.
You know what happens when you make assumptions, don't you?
Well, you get the wrong impression.
No, I mean, what's the saying about that?
When you assume you make an ass out of you and me.
Right. Correct.
Yeah.
Ding. Well, I think we're coming to the conclusion of our visit here on October the 12th. It's on a Sunday, and
12th,
Stan's looking at his watch.
Yes, the 12th.
It is the 12th. What time is it, Stan?
It's 12 o'clock.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Let me see your watch. Can you trust that watch?
Can I what?
Trust it.
Yeah, it's
Is that the
pretty
right time?
It's pretty accurate.
Is it pretty accurate?
Well, it's accurate. What can I say?
Do you think that Mom is still making honey cake?
Yeah.
You had that opinion at one time.
Yeah, she's probably dating somebody in heaven right now. She went on a few dates before she passed.
That's true. So if Mom and Dad are up in heaven, right? Then do they still have their Sky's Haven trailer?
Oh, they must have it all up there
Yeah. Up there's where?
in heaven.
Where is it?
That way.
Yeah, that way. Where? How far?
I told you I'm not a mathematical person.
It has nothing to do with
I
math.
wish I were.
Is it a mythical place? Is it a real place?
Heaven?
Yeah.
Well, it depends how
Heaven.
Heaven. How much you? It depends how much you believe in religion.
Well, what do you believe?
Well, I'll tell you. When I go to Chabad, the lead rabbi sometimes says, "Well, these things are documented, therefore they must have happened."
But heaven.
And, no, I'm talking about heaven can
Yeah.
apply to that. Heaven can apply to that. That it must have happened. There must actually be a heaven.
Is there a heaven on earth?
Well, human beings are very smart people, and they create their own happiness on earth.
Yeah, heaven.
Right.
And what is that heaven?
It's
Can it be a person who is well taken care of?
well, yeah, has a good life, I guess.
Someone who has a guaranteed income
And a new car?
and a guaranteed place to live.
a little
roof
bit,
over
a
his
little
head.
bit, little bit of heaven on earth, sure. But not from I think that it's a limited thing.
Someone who has a new TV,
Yeah.
new car,
New car.
Right.
goes on trips.
Gets on trips for free.
Right.
Is that heaven?
It's heavenly. Heavenly.
It's
Stan
like
Lee.
Stan Lee.
Heaven.
It's Stan Lee.
Is heavenly is that like an Asian trip or something?
Heavenly.
Yeah.
All right, so
Maybe-
All right, where we're wrapping this thing up. 'Cause
Maybe an Asian amusement park. Heavenly.
I just have one last question.
Yes.
Is this the real Stan or the actor Stan?
This is the real me.
Okay.
All right, very good. And we'll say goodbye for this year. All right, Stan. And we all wish you